Hey everyone, happy Sunday. I hope that if you are celebrating the holidays just around the corner, you've got all your stockings lined up under the tree because, 2 days left if in fact you are celebrating Christmas and are expecting a visit from Santa Claus. If you're not, or if you are, I hope that whatever you are doing and whatever you are celebrating, that you have a calm and peaceful and relaxing season and finish to the end of this year. In fact, I hope that you get to kick back and be a little lazy, which brings me on to the topic of today's video. I would like to talk to you about autonomous vehicle technologies. Don't turn off. I want to talk to you about autonomous vehicle technologies and the driving test that you have to take before you're allowed behind the wheel of a car. Having learnt to drive in the UK and learnt to ride a motorbike in the UK, and then coming over here to the US and having to retake my driving test and my motorcycle test over here because for some reason the US doesn't recognize the British driving test as being valid or something. I've taken 2 sets of driving tests, and because I failed my British driving test a couple of times, didn't fail my motorcycle test, passed that first time, but I did fail my driving test a couple of times back in my 20s. I would like to think that I've got some experience of what taking a test is like and what is included and what isn't included on the driving test. And I remember very clearly when I passed my driver's test in the UK, and then I picked up the car because I was working for a company that gave me a company car the day I passed my test. So I went up and picked up this brand new car and drove it home. And because it was October, I drove in the dark at nighttime for the first time in my life. And I hit a hedgehog, and I felt really bad about it because I didn't know how to drive at night. I didn't know where to look, and somebody was coming along the road and I got blinded and I hit a hedgehog, and that hedgehog's death still sticks in the back of my mind today. But it was because no one had ever taken me out and taught me how to drive at night, right? So if we fast forward to today, cars are far more complicated than they were when I took my driving test back in 2003. Or 2002 actually was when I passed my test. And so there are a lot more systems in today's modern cars than there once were. And I know some countries like the UK, for example, now include segment in the driving test that is focused specifically on things like satellite navigation, how to use it safely, how not to be distracted, etc., etc. In the US, different states have different rules for their driving tests. I know personally that Oregon's driving test is a complete joke. I don't mind saying that. I thought the motorcycle test was a complete joke. I passed it with flying colours, and it literally involved me riding around a parking lot and doing some maneuvers to prove that I could control a motorcycle. My daughter is learning to drive right now, and I know that when she's grown up and she's driving, the future for her on the road is going to be really different. But as more and more cars become semi-autonomous or fully autonomous, things like Tesla Autopilot coming online, I can't help but wonder if we need to actually start including parts of the driving test that focus on how to safely use these technologies, when to identify whether a driving assistance technology is partly autonomous or fully autonomous, when you should safely use it, when you should know to take back control of the vehicle. It doesn't feel like our driving tests are moving at the same speed that the technology that our cars have is. And so we end up training people how to drive cars based on quite old technology, and the modern advanced assistance features in most cars are never touched in the majority of driving tests. It's proven time and time again. I met someone the other day who didn't know how to turn on certain functions of their car because they'd learned to drive a car that didn't have those functions. And yes, while the driver of the car and the owner of the car, it's their responsibility to understand the functions of the car that they own, they also need to be able to use the technology that their car has in a safe manner. And sometimes unless they have received instruction on it or unless they've been certified to use that technology, they may not know how to use it properly. I'll give you a case in point. If you want to fly an airplane, you have to go through all of the training. You have to get certified for the type of plane that you want to fly. And once you get your private pilot's license, then there's a whole load of other hoops that you have to jump through if you want to become an instructor or you want to become a commercial pilot. And we don't do that with cars in the same way. If you want to fly at night, you have to go through training to prove that you can fly at night. If you want to fly with your instruments rather than using visual flight rules, you have to get rated. You have to go through the training program to prove that you know how to safely read all of the dials and gauges in your airplane and that you can use the technology in your airplane to safely fly it. You don't just get your pilot's license and then you can fly, a Dreamliner. That's not how it works. So why do we do that with cars? I want to know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. There's a buttload of links if you want to support us, buy some swag or whatever. If you already do support us, thank you very much for the fantastic support that you've given us this year, and I hope that you will continue to give us support next. I hope that you have, as I said at the beginning, a very wonderful and peaceful end to 2018, and I will see you very, very soon. Keep evolving.